Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about the light dependent reaction part 2. So let's not waste any of your time. Let's get right to it. Now when we're talking photosynthesis, okay, and we're talking about the light dependent reaction, we want to really make sure that we get the steps down. So we're going to really work on this, and by collecting this information, you've heard it all, but now here is our official writing of the steps of the light dependent reaction. And you can see in the diagram here, this is what we're going to follow along. And again, I've numbered the diagram to where the notes and the diagram are numbered to go along with each other. And this is, as you can see, labeled a Z diagram because the pathways are set up to where it resembles somewhat of a Z, at least a zigzag. I mean, you couldn't look at that and see that it was a Z, but anyway. And of course, it's got notes there as well as far as starting materials and end products and things like that to capture as well. But starting at step number 1, it's at the bottom, obviously, and it's just to the right of the first photosystem, this photosystem 2, and that is water is supplying the electron for this process, and that electron goes to the reaction center, the little yellow ball in there. Step 2, far left, again above the zigzag light ray. The light energy is absorbed by the pigments, whether that's chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, B-carotene. Something is absorbing the energy from those wavelengths. Okay, and then the energy is funneled molecule to molecule towards the reaction center. Okay, part 3 is once the electron gets enough energy, okay, it can leave the reaction center, leaves the photosystem 2, and at step 4, the electron is accepted by some carrier. You've got H's going through proteins. So remember, when it starts this process, it's in the membrane itself. And so when the electron and the reaction center jettison out, okay, they are now no longer in the membrane. They are outside of the thylakoid, but they want to come back in because they got to go through the ATP synthase and eventually and make some ATP molecules. So the H's re-enter the thylakoid through the proteins. Okay. Then at part 5, the electron then enters the reaction center of photosystem 1. Okay, and again, step 6, just like step 2, the photon, the light energy, is absorbed by the pigments, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, B-carotene. And then 7, just like 3, once the electron in the reaction center has enough energy, it jettisons itself out. And then 8, just like 4, the electron is accepted by a carrier, and of course then you have the H's going through the ATP synthase. You're making ATPs, and of course the molecule NADPH and the ATPs all head to the Calvin cycle at step 9. So that is our formal description of the steps. So again, this slide, it will be very, very important, and of course it's also in the PowerPoint as well to look at. But those are your steps of the light dependent reaction. Okay, so in this diagram beside me there, again, it's the same series of steps. Okay, but we really just wanted to give different looks at the information, the way this process works. But again, the steps are the same. Just this diagram is a little more. It shows you all the parts. It shows you the H's coming back through. It shows you the H's moving through the ATP synthase. It shows ATP molecules being made. But again, the steps are the water supplies the electrons for photosystem 2, and then the light energy is absorbed. The energy is funneled down to the reaction center. Once the electron receives enough energy, it catapults itself out of the photosystem. Okay, and through the help of a carrier, it moves through the process. The H's re-enter the thylakoid, and then we get to photosystem 1. So that electron has moved from photosystem 2 out of the thylakoid and now back into photosystem 1. Okay, and again, the light energy is absorbed, energy is funneled, energy is used to make the electron jet itself out again. And again, the H's come back through the proteins, and then the H's work their way through the ATP synthase, producing ATP. And of course, the ATP and the NADPH molecules all head to the Calvin cycle. All right, again, one more look at it. The 9 steps. So hopefully you have those: the supplying, the absorption, the relocation, the re-entering, the absorption, the funneling, the leaving, the re-entering, the making of ATP molecules. So that is the steps of the LDR, the light dependent reaction. Alright, that's our video over the light dependent reaction part 2. When we come back next time, we'll be talking about the Calvin cycle. We'll see you then.